Hi, for those of you who are not aware, this 30-day period in Serbia is from mid-December until mid-January, is a period where hardly anything gets done and most people are drunk most of the time. And in that period I have decided to do a bit of a workshop overhaul, and in this video I will show some things that I did in the workshop and how I try to keep my stuff organized, in hoping that it will give someone some ideas, it will help you, and also hoping to hear good help and advice from you. So let us begin with the heart of every workshop, and that is the work desk or workbench or work table, depending on the layout and how you call it. So here we have this is the desk that I got when I bought this whole workshop, and that was one of the few things that were left, and it's apparently it's custom made, and it's very well built with a very hard steel frame, and it's just heavy enough so that you don't even have to bolt it down to keep it in place, even if not all the drawers are filled with stuff. But when they are, it's awesome, and it has some very high quality hardwood, which is not perfect, but it is very good. And over the years I did put some protective coating when I got this, when I moved in, so to speak, and I've already made a video called Quo Vadis where I showed pictures of the overhaul. But anyway, here is the closer view of the workbench, and what I did with these wooden planks. See, they have nice grooves, so they fit into each other, and they are pretty thick and strong. And I use this in my native, it's called Firnice. It's boiled linseed oil, and it's quite good. And you how do I say, smear it on with a brush liberally, let it soak up for about 30 minutes and wipe off the excess, and repeat that 2 or 3 times or more if the wood is very dry, until it stops taking it in, until it stops sucking in any more of that. And then you know that the wood is nicely protected and it will not dry out. And for the wood that's inside, this is not outside in the rain or in the sun, so it should be enough. I would probably not need to reapply it even for a decade or so, which doesn't mean that I won't, but I needn't do that. Last time I did this was about 7 or so years ago, and it held up perfectly, and I just applied 2 coats, and after that it stopped taking any more in. And the curing process is 21 days, and at the temperature above 15 Celsius degrees. So in a few more days I will put a rubber cover on top of this and put it all back together. Now I'm leaving it like semi-open to dry faster and to cure completely. So I did that, and before, as you can see by these holes, I used to have a vise that was screwed in. Let's put this aside for now. Screwed in here. These were the 2 holes, and the one hole that goes through the wooden plank, and from the below I put some washer and the nut and held it in place. But I plan to invest in a bit larger vise. This is 80 millimeters or 8 centimeters, and it doesn't open too much, so it's a bit on the small side, and it works. But I will probably use a larger vise. But for this one I will get a high quality hardwood and try to drill holes and make it a bit larger, so that I can use those small clamps to to hold this wherever I want, if I want to take it outside or wherever, so that I can keep on using this as well, and I can easily put it aside somewhere. It's not going to be fixed permanently. Here, if you watched my older videos, I used to have a small grinding wheel that was a bit under very low powered motor. You could practically stop it by hand, and it would stop when I apply any amount of force on it. And the stone was some strange shape, non-standard, and it was something that was considering, okay, I need to replace this, but it was getting the job done, at least for grinding the ends of housing and similar, but for anything else it was very much lacking, and I finally decided to remove it and get some decent one. So here I've improvised some holders and didn't want to weld this, so instead I put some of these L profiles, and I even used some mounting glue to glue two of them together and held together with compression until it's dry, to make it a sort of a composite material. It should increase strength, and the bolts are very high quality and hard. And so over this I will put some strong wooden plank, and so I will have some area to work, because the bench is not very huge, and I will be able to put here another stone or to clamp a vise or whatever. So that is the plan that I have for now, to use those coned and countersunk holes and bolts that have a bit of a conical top section, and to make it flat and mount it here, and use some rubber as the final layer to dampen vibrations as much as possible and similar. This is still a work in the progress, but those are some general plans, general ideas that I have. So that's for that part. Now I will briefly show you the new machine that I got. I will make a separate review of this, but I wanted to have both a grinding stone and a belt that can easily and quickly be replaced depending on what I want to work on. And this is a solid machine. So far I'm quite happy with it, and I plan to make that table extension such that I can put it over there or use it here, or, as I've already made a review of this one, this Pony Jorgensen table, sawhorse, multiple Lego thing. So I can also take it outside and put some extension cords and take it outside when I'm grinding some wood or something that will create a lot of debris, so that I can clean it more easily. So I for now hanging this here, and have used it a lot, quite happy. We'll make a follow-up video later. I put some of its clamps and other things here to make it simpler to work and more convenient and logical, and I also put some protective stuff here so that I don't feel, yeah, that is another interesting thing. I thought that putting this here will make sure that I will not be lazy to put it on whenever I'm using this. I have another one in another part of the workshop, which is over here, and it's where all my power tools are, so I can take protective gear without doing anything, but in order to reach for any power tools I need to pull this out. And so by doing that I wanted to make sure that I cannot fool myself into thinking, okay, just one small cut for a second, I will just do it briefly, no protective gear. So I wanted to make sure that it's more convenient for me to use protective gear than to not use it. So those are some things, some ideas that I have and how I have organized my work. And now I wish to talk a bit about general workshop organization. I haven't got all the answers, but this is what's worked for me and some of my thoughts. So at the cost of being burned as a heretic, I must say that chaos is the natural order of things. If you just don't do anything, everything will naturally gravitate towards more and more chaos. In order to prevent chaos and to make any kind of order or organization or get anything done, you do need to put in constant conscious effort. Sometimes it does become automatic without really thinking, in a similar way that you would clean your tools before putting them back on the wall, and similar. That after a while becomes like an automatic thing, but generally you do need to consciously plan and make organization such that you always keep reducing chaos. And you cannot totally reduce chaos or eliminate it. The best thing you can do is try to sort of diminish it in a very limited controlled area. That can be your desk or your workshop or your street at best, but anything further than that, even if many people are organized, there's always a limit based on how much energy and time you have, how much chaos you can reduce. There always is chaos, there always will be, and it is something to accept and make peace with, and try to pick your battles and see where you will draw the line and how much chaos you will allow yourself. And in order to, one of the very frustrating things, at least for me, is when I need to do something and I cannot find the parts or the tools, and use a lot of time and energy and concentration. Oh, where did I put that? Sometimes it's even simpler to rush to the nearest store and buy a new part if you cannot find it, and you'll find it later, but it's still very tiring and frustrating, and so I try to eliminate that. In order to do that, what I did was use one of the drawers on my work desk, which is like a central part of my workshop, and put this. This is not very expensive, and those are stickers. They are self-adhesive, and this is called, in my native Flowmaster, I don't know what this is called in English, but you can use it to draw. It has a color, and the best thing about these two is that they will this will fade over time, and this will stop being sticky after a while. I will now show you what I did with this and why those two properties can be helpful. So let's show this, for example. Here, this is I started by using something more permanent, but that's not a very wise idea, and I realized that only afterwards, because sometimes you reorganize things, and these, because they have semi-permanent durability, I will be forced to always keep them up to date. Even if I don't want to, I will see, okay, they're getting pale on there, or they're getting unstuck, so I need to rewrite again and check, okay, what did I put here? Okay, let's write it down. So those are some ways that, at least this is my thinking out loud and my current setup, how I try to get things in order and know where's what's where, and similar. I haven't thought it all through completely, and I'm in between reorganizing things, so there is still a bit of a chaos. Here I'm waiting for some parts and some pieces of wood and so on and so forth, but we'll get there. Now I will show you another interesting part of my workshop that is usually not seen in my videos. So follow me here. I hope no one breaks anything. The cameraman will have to be like a good chess player to make moves very carefully. So this thing says too late now in my native. Everyone hits their head in this section, and here is a ramp that goes to the storage area, which is now pretty hectic. And what I did in the storage area was to get some of these plastic boxes and fill them up with things. The best thing about these plastic boxes is that they are completely transparent, so you can see easily what is inside of each. And I did try to make sure that they are in some sort of logical order based on the type of things that's packed into them. And one of the things that's not very convenient is that I did not use big boxes, but several small. So in order to save space, I had to stack them. So if I wanted to get this thing or this thing, I need to remove a few things, remove a few more in order to get here. That is one downside, but the upside is that I can easily see what is stored where. If I put everything in one very deep box, it's problematic. Even if you can see something in the bottom, while you reach it, you spend more time than it takes to take out a few boxes, put them aside, and get to what you need. So right now everything is a mess, so I don't have anything to leave this aside. So it's a bit of a process in between now, but I wanted to show this in the video, and hoping that it helps anyone. We can go back there now if we survive. Okay, so a bit tricky. This is the refrigerator. Of course, I occasionally open it to defrost it and clean everything and put everything back, and so now it just needs to be turned on. Everything is set. And what did I forget to mention? If I forgot to mention something, well, I don't know. If I remember, I'll put it in the video's description or on my forum or something. But anyway, I wanted to make a video like this and to show these things, and I hope it's at least entertaining, if not very helpful and educational. It is a bit of a struggle to work in a pretty tight space. This is less than 30 square meters, and more than half of it is a very, very low ceiling. Even here the ceiling is quite low, but on that part it's very low, and that also limits your storage space and your movement space, your organization. I cannot install easily a fan in this section without it being dangerously low, for example, and something like that. So there are always limits, and I try to work within those. And when I finish cleaning this up and organizing it, it will be usually probably again filled with bicycles that are waiting for repairs. And I also I like doing everything, so I also do some basic woodworking and metalworking and fixing all sorts of things for my friends, family, acquaintances, and so on and so forth. And so I am trying to make the workshop be as universal as possible, and that is where this folding bench or desk, sorry, or table is the right English term for this, no drawers, is very handy, because it lets me take things outside for even more room for maneuvering, and to avoid dust getting everywhere here, because this is very difficult to clean when you have to sand wood and it flies and falls down on everything and gets into every nook and cranny. So those are some ways that I'm trying to cope and improvise. Of course, when it's raining, it's not very simple to work outside. There's no shelter from water, from rain. But when it's dark, I did improvise with stuff like this. It's magnetic. I'll make a video about this thing, but it is very good. This light, trying not to blind the camera, but I can mount it on the door and have like a floodlight, what you call it. It's very, very good. 12 volt Bosch batteries that you use for tools. They last for hours and hours. It's LED, so not much energy consumption. Bosch have made the one with the 18 volt batteries, a bit more powerful. So that's one of the things that I'm considering among hundreds of other tools that I'm considering whether I should buy and in which order and what the priorities are. And it's always a trade-off, even when money is not the problem in a direct way. It is a problem in terms of storage space, because you always have limited storage space and limited amount of time and the work that you can get to do. So for example, if you watch some of my relatively recent videos, right behind the place where the camera is right now, in that corner, there used to be a very old lathe, I think is the right word for machinists, that you can use to spin things quickly and make all sorts of wonderful things from metal. It was a metal working lathe, not one for wood, but it was in awful condition, worse than I thought. And after some consideration, I decided that it's not worth investing any more time, effort and money to fix it, especially because as far as I can tell, and I think I'm pretty spot on this, but you may correct me, of course, this is internet, people will correct you when you're wrong, so that has very good things about it. So I think that being a machinist is a whole separate set of skills. It's not like you are working on motorcycles and then you learn some peculiarities, take working on cars and start working on bicycles and similar. Machinist is like a whole new world. It helps if you have some basic and good experience with mechanics and mechanical engineering, but it is a skill and a trade on its own that requires a lot of time to learn and a lot of patience and some room and some money, of course, for the decent equipment. And I decided that is where, for now, until I'm retired at least and have some more time on my hands, I will draw the line and I will not go into that direction. I was seriously considered, it got a very good price for old lathe, but it wasn't in a good condition. It was a blunder, a waste of money and time, but I decided to not waste any more time and money into that and to call it a day. And maybe someday, if I get more time and more room to work, I will get something and start in that direction. It's very interesting. I would love to, but you have everyone has limits, and I decided to stop there and instead use that room for extra drawers and workplace for other tools, and that's how it is for now. So that's the whole video. Thank you very much if you sat through this whole video. If you like this, make sure to click on that bell to get notification when I publish a new video, because YouTube does not care about subscriptions. It will not notify you if you only subscribe. They managed to change how that works now. And if you wish to support my work, you can do so via Patreon on patreon.com/BikeGremlin. Any sort of help is welcome. And if you have any questions or comments, I would recommend that you use the BikeGremlin.net forum, because it's better than YouTube in handling questions and replies and making it possible to search that later on and similar. So that's it for the new year. We are recording this in the beginning of January, and for further on I plan to keep making videos when I have the time with something that I find that's interesting, that might help someone or at least be entertaining, though I more aim for educational stuff than for just entertainment. And keep going. The last year has been pretty rough, I must say, and I don't expect things to get better in this year, and we'll just keep going the best we can. And that's life. It's not always perfect, as Gennaro Gattuso said in that interview. Sometimes good, sometimes shit. So that's how it is. But we'll try to keep this going for as much as we can and do the best work that we can. And right now my website is completely gone from Google for reasons that are beyond the scope of this video, and it's definitely not because of poor quality or anything that I did wrong. Quite the contrary. And it seems to be the similar case with YouTube videos in terms of number of views, watch hours, whatever statistics make sense. So this is now back to the 2016. So zero income, pure enthusiasm and will to share knowledge and experience, and we'll see where it goes from here, but that's how it is now, and I cannot complain. As long as health serves me, we'll keep doing this, and I hope that if it helps at least 1 or 2 people, and if one person enjoys it, it's worth it. So that's the whole video now. Finally, thank you very much. Happy holidays, whatever it is that you're celebrating, and I'll see you in some other video. Cheers. I want to thank my friend Gox for sticking with me and with the camera. It's a lot of effort, a lot of time also, and so I want to also appreciate that. It's a tremendous help for me without having to move camera on a stand and make sure that everything's in the shot and so on. It saves a ton of work and a ton of time, so that's also very important, and that's it. Cheers, see you.